Our biggest problem from the physician's point of view was with the emergency take. Start of the day, people would be seen as they arrived. You'd be waiting 4, 5, 6 hours. Obviously, if you were critically ill, you'd be seen straight away. So we'd have the whole day's admissions piling up to about 6 o'clock. And so by about 6 o'clock, we had people in chairs in the waiting area, the TV room, down the corridor. The worst, we've had them actually in the television room. We've had patients on beds in the kitchen. It was a demoralising place to work. So we set about changing it. We've process mapped the whole process. We looked for bottlenecks in the system. We took everybody's view into account, from the nursing staff, the porters, the radiology department, the diagnostics, the whole lot. So we're changing the whole system, not just the way the physicians work or not just the way the consultants work, and have come up with a scheme that has really made an enormous difference. You can see the benefits of patient care, and the whole process is markedly better.
My sole job is as coordinator for the admissions area. This involves meeting and greeting the public as they arrive, making sure they're in a bed, making sure they've been seen by a nurse, making sure they've been seen by a doctor. So it's getting the process of admission speeded up. I think to get a 4-hour turnaround for a patient would be ideal, to get them in, to get them the right treatment and get them comfortable in a ward. I feel quite proud that I started off as a receptionist and I've developed this role. I took on the role of coordination downstairs, which was a nurse-led role, which they felt could be done by a clerical person. I started on admissions just part-time in the evenings while my children were small, and I've just developed it. The area that we were in had been there for so long, and when it was all put on paper, you think to yourself, this won't work. But thankfully the people have all pulled together and it is working. You can see the proofs here.
Yeah. She should be moved up here later on today.
We were concerned that minor injuries were the group of patients who were suffering in the department, that they weren't getting seen very quickly and that their care was less than ideal. So we looked at the possibility of building a minor injuries unit and having those group of patients seen in that area. We've now built that area. We've got nurse practitioners working in that area, and the journey for patients with minor injuries is far better than it was this time last year. We know from audit work that we've done that their journey time through the department now is between 60 and 80 minutes, whereas previously it could be anything up to 4, 5 and even more hours than that. People are always say that this isn't going to work, and what we've tried to do is to demonstrate that yes, let's try the change, and if it doesn't work, that's fine. We're quite happy to go back and look at what we've done and review it. But I think lots of people have now begun to realise that what we have and the changes that we have made have been very beneficial towards the patients. Not just the patients for minor illness, but it means that the doctors in the department are much more free to see patients with major illness as well now. So everybody in the department is benefiting from the minor injuries unit being put into place.
My father used to tell a story about breaking his leg playing football back in Warrington and negotiating in Warrington Infirmary as to whether or not anybody would have actually vouch whether he could pay for the treatment or not. So I think it's been a tremendously civilising thing, the National Health Service, that there's been a real attempt to provide care to the people who need it and not the people who have most money. And it's quite clear we just can't carry on doing things the way we've done in the past. We've got to think about new ways so we can actually deliver the service to the patients when they require it, where they require it. And I don't see why people shouldn't be expected to have a consultant appointment within the time it takes to actually organise that, within a week or so. There's absolutely no reason why that can't be achieved. I actually think the aim of seeing patients immediately when they need to be seen is the way we should be going. We really can, for the first time, really look forward to the NHS suddenly developing and providing a 21st century service.
I'm 3637. I'm everybody's contact around the hospital. They know me. Some of them have met me, and they don't. They come down, can I meet Mal? So it has helped around the department, definitely. 3637. It has made a difference because there is a lot of time-consuming jobs that radiographers would spend time doing, which they don't now. And I'm an example of change, and it just goes to show that it does work, it can work, and it's worked both for staff and for the patients. Having a person for contact, that's what it is. You know, doctors come down, this patient's urgent, they need an x-ray, so can we sort it out? So they see your face, right, okay, I'll sort it out. And the patient's down here being x-rayed. So it does make a difference, definitely, to the treatment, to the care of the patient.
Well, as a modern matron, I feel a large part of my role is to lead by example, to act as a role model to staff, particularly with regards to maintaining standards. It's not being a disciplinarian, as the matrons were viewed many years ago, but empowering others, engaging them and involving them in the decision-making process. It's very important for staff to have someone to turn to, someone they can speak to, and the idea of the matron is to be very accessible and visible to staff and patients alike. It's important to improve the patient's experience of the NHS, and I believe that there needs to be change to improve quality of care that we give to the patients and their experience of the NHS. Staff do find change threatening, especially when there is so much change occurring. And the difficulty is keeping abreast of that change and being knowledgeable about it. And that's why I feel my role is very important with regards to educating staff and encouraging them to be involved in the change process.
Transport problems and getting patients out for tablets to go home.
The secret to our success here in Eastbourne has been teamwork. By focusing the emergency admissions here in one area, we have a nursing team who've opted to work here. They want to work here, they want to experience that sharp end of the patient's stay, and we've been able to focus all our resources in responding to the patient needs. By having a small select unit as such, you're able to be very focused on that role, and your role is to make sure the patients are seen, make sure their investigations are obtained and that we get the results quickly, make sure that we get decisions made about their care quickly, and that has only come because of the size of the unit. People see targets very negatively a lot of the time. Most professionals see targets as some just political warfare, really. But I personally believe that we should demonstrate ourselves to be efficient with the services that we use and with the resources that we use. And there has to be some way of proving that, and if targets are the only way, then we do need to try and work towards those. And for most people, that will improve the quality of patient care. But most people are looking for something better than what was happening before. They're looking for better solutions, better working lives, and I think that the unit has helped to provide that.
Cardiology has changed and is in the process of further change. I think one of the things that we've been able to do is deliver investigations to our patients at an earlier stage and help prioritise the patients that need them first. We've been able to map the patient's journey and involve all aspects of the department, both the technicians, the nursing staff, the radiographers, as well as the clinicians. We've had changes here which have been beneficial and changed the process for patients. There is enthusiasm when one sees an improvement in the service, and we've had that positive feedback here in Eastbourne. Patients have had a better service, the staff have noticed that patients have a better service, and their own roles have changed. The one thing I'm proudest of is the nursing staff in the admissions unit. I think that the process of changing their role, the way they have adapted in their role, and their involvement in the whole process and the enthusiasm in the whole process has made it a joy.